Good morning, boys and girls. And here's chapter 8. I started to yell to Dr. Luke about the missing cub, but he was busy telling the other kids about the lemmings. I decided to search for the cub myself. After all, it was my polar baby project. Bright Eyes, you want to come with me? I asked the lead husky. Bright Eyes jumped up, ready to go. I unhitched him from the reins. Then we climbed up the ice ridge together. How far away could a little cub like that get? I asked out loud. Bright Eyes just barked and ran ahead. We reached the top of the ridge. I looked out over the snow that stretched toward the water. I saw a little ball of fur running across the ice. It was the cub, and he was heading for the water. Hey, stop! I yelled. But the cub just ran on. His feet were like snowshoes on the ice. I ran down the ridge after the cub. Then, boom! My feet slipped out from under me, and my bottom hit the ice. Whoa! I yelled. I zipped down the slope like I was on a super fast sled. I could hear Bright Eyes barking behind me, but he couldn't keep up. I slid all the way down the slope and ran out onto the ice. When I finally stopped, I was right beside the polar bear cub. So Wanda wrote a little note here on furry footwear. A polar bear's feet are nature's perfect snowshoes. The bottoms are wide and covered with fur to make them non-slip. The sharp claws help grip the ice. The cub started to walk farther out onto the ice to the water. I got up and started to follow him until I heard Bright Eyes bark. I stopped and turned around. What's the matter, boy? I asked. Come with me. But Bright Eyes let out a low growl and took 2 steps backwards. He looked like he was trying to motion me back to the ice ridge. Okay, I'll get the cub myself, I said, stomping my foot on the ice. So here's him going across. Just then, a crack as loud as thunder echoed under my feet. I looked down. The ice was breaking up all around me. I took a step toward the cub. Maybe I could get a hold of him and carry him back. But a big crack ripped across the ice between the cub and me. I heard Bright Eyes bark louder. Now I was really scared. And it wasn't just for the cub. I was walking on thin ice. I tried to take another step back, but the ice kept cracking. I didn't know what to do but freeze in my tracks. I was trapped. Bright Eyes! I yelled. Go get Miss Frizzle and Dr. Luke. Hurry! Bright Eyes barked and ran up the ridge. I turned around to look at the cub. He was sitting on the ice and whimpering. I felt like whimpering too. Then the cub got up and started to squeal. I turned around to see why. Yikes! I yelled. It was the polar bear mother. She was running down the ridge towards us. The cub kept squealing. I wanted to squeal too, but I was scared stiff. What if the mother bear came out onto the ice? Her weight would sink us for sure. Of course, my worst fears came true. The polar bear took several steps across the sheet of ice, but then she did something really amazing. She got down on her belly and started to creep towards us. She was pulling herself along with her claws. I was really freaked out until I remembered my research. Polar bears are Arctic experts. They know how to travel on thin ice. The cub watched his mother. Then he got down on his belly. I didn't waste any time. I got onto my belly too. Slowly, the mother bear turned around and headed back toward the land. The cub crawled after her. I brought up the rear. Tim! I heard Miss Frizzle scream. I looked up and saw Bright Eyes on top of the ridge with the Frizz, Dr. Luke, and the other kids. So this is from the desk of Dr. Luke. It's called the ice crawl. A polar bear can crawl across ice too thin for a human to walk on. They spread out their legs and lay their bellies flat on the ice. Then they use their claws to slowly push themselves across the ice. So here's a picture of them doing the crawl. I was so happy to see them that tears came to my eyes, but they turned into icicles the minute they hit my cheeks. Dr. Luke was running down the ice ridge. I saw that he had a rope in his hands. Ahead of me, the mother polar bear and the cub were creeping across the ice. I heard another loud crack behind me. A huge chunk of ice broke off and floated away into the ocean. Dr. Luke stopped running when he got to the edge of the thin ice. He threw out the rope to me. It almost reached. Almost. I kept crawling along the ice, pretending I was a polar bear. The rope was just out of my reach. Then it was closer. Then I grabbed it. Dr. Luke pulled me in like a big fish. Bright Eyes licked my face with his warm tongue. I was safe. Thanks, I said through chattering teeth. That was close. Miss Frizzle gave me a big hug, then she pointed across the snow. Look, Tim, she said. Your cub is safe too. I sat up and looked across the snow. The polar bear mother was there. She was licking her cub and cuddling him. Then I saw the other cub. He came bounding down the ridge to join his family. Mission accomplished, Dr. Luke said. Now, we had better get you back to the research station, Tim. We didn't want to take any chances with frostbite. From the desk of Dr. Luke, count your toes. Arctic explorers have to watch out for frozen danger, frostbite. Frostbite strikes when skin is exposed to extreme cold. Ice crystals form in skin and even beneath the skin. If gangrene or tissue death occurs, a person could end up losing fingers or toes or even a limb. At the time, I didn't know what frostbite was, and I'm glad I didn't. The rest of the kids helped me up the ridge. I stopped to rest at the top and turned around to look at the cub. I saw him raise one of his paws in the air. I like to think he was waving goodbye. That's the end of chapter 8. Tomorrow, Mrs. Weems will be back with chapter 9. See you.